Hello and welcome to Just One More Watch. Back today with another Kickstarter project. I love looking at these Kickstarter projects. Always a great privilege to have a look at a prototype before it goes on market, and I feel always good for me to have a look at something and give you my honest opinion as to whether it's worthy of your attention or not. Now this is the second piece that I've looked at from a fairly small California-based micro brand called Castle. I looked at one of their quartz pieces earlier on this year, but I was always aware that this one was coming soon, and it has a compelling set of basic statistics. Titanium case, sapphire sandwich, Seiko NH35 movement, $150 US. Let's flip the camera and get a look at this one. Let's start with a brief but obligatory look at the Kickstarter campaign. This one has done very well for itself, exceeded its budget by 50% and continuing to climb, nearly 400 backers. So this one's definitely going ahead, and they've added a couple of stretch goals which I'll talk about over the course of the video. So you can pick this one up in 5 different color combinations, plus you get the choice of date or no date, so you're not short of options with this Castle Cavetto, all of which come in at a very reasonable $155 US. Considering the straight up specs for this one, I think that's a cracking price. It comes in a box. This one is a prototype, which I will talk about a little later on. The bezel's not quite aligned as it should be because Sean did it himself, but give you a reasonable idea of what the production models will look like nonetheless. So 42 millimeters in diameter, a very slim 11.7. Great to see a watch powered by the NH35 still coming in at under 12mm thick, just under 50mm lug tip to lug tip. It is 22mm lug width, tapering a little down to 20 on the supplied leather strap. And on the supplied leather strap, the weight is, you ready for it? 61 grams. So that's the benefits of using titanium. So the case is made of titanium, hence the lack of weight. Doesn't specify, but I would imagine that the bezel is made of stainless steel along with the crown, and the case back does state that it is made of 316L stainless steel. Water resistance of 5 atmospheres, 50 meters. Now they've added a stretch goal at 75,000. Not sure if they're going to hit that one, but if they do, it'll take the water resistance up to 100 meters, so 10 atmospheres. I'm not sure that that's all that necessary, to be honest though, given that this one is on a supplied leather strap and that it's kind of more dressy. It's like a kind of dressy diver. The movement in here, Seiko NH35, the venerable NH35, and it's a sapphire case back. So you got a sapphire on the front, sapphire on the back. Again, ridiculous specs for $155 US. Now we all know the NH35, super reliable, super accurate, 24 joules, hacks and hand winds, rugged and robust. A great choice for watches at or around this price point, and should probably go for a decade or more between services. So a variety of different colours and finishes as noted. This one, IP black coating the titanium. You can see little crown there, slightly undersized crown comparative to the 42mm diameter of the watch. Nice to have the Castle logo etched on it. And the bezel. Now this one is fixed on this prototype sample. They have reached the $50,000 stretch goal. So this one is going to have a 120 click unidirectional rotating bezel, which is good. You're going to be able to use this one as you would a dive timer. And the little serrated edge here, mimicking the turrets of the Castle. So a nice touch, but it is a little bit rough. You're going to have to be careful that you're not bashing that one off things and scratching it with day-to-day use. The leather strap, as with the Corbel, which I reviewed previously, is a very good one. And you've got the Castle Watch Company Cavetto emblazoned on the underside, quick release spring bars, and the Castle branding etched into the buckle. Again, all very nice touches for the price. And check that waffle dial. Metal Dauphine hour and minute hand, just a very slim needle second hand ticking away at 6 ticks per second, as is the way of the NH35. Applied arrowhead indices, it's a metal dial, and you've got that little Castle logo there underneath the 12 o'clock. And this one looks fantastic out in natural sunlight. There it is on a nice sunny day against the rich green grass of my Sydney garden, and the dial has just got so much character to it. Very nicely printed, very nicely done.
crisply detailed, and the whole watch wears quite well. They decided to go for a 42 rather than a 40, kind of hedging their bets that this size would suit most people. Now, as noted, the bezel on this one is misaligned by half a minute. Nice to see that Casio logo up there at the 12, but no lume. They were going to look at lume as a stretch goal, but decided not to bother. So that does rather raise the question of what is this watch? It's got a rotating bezel, but it's not really a dive watch because the water resistance is not suitable for diving and there's no lume. So it's a kind of dress watch. I would say this is an office piece, very light, all day, every day, Monday to Friday watch with the added practicality on production samples that you will be able to use this rotating bezel as a timer. And that's all right. I think we spend a little too much time trying to categorize watches on how they should be used, but not enough time considering how we actually use the watches. And there it is, sitting on top of my Joe Average 7-inch wrist. I do like the look of this all black one. 42mm, it does wear quite big, quite flat, but because it is super light, you're not going to notice it. So, as they say on the Kickstarter campaign, it's a kind of 42 that in some ways wears like a 40, at least in terms of the weight anyway. So great specs, and I think that waffle dial is a winner. It looks very interesting indeed. If you're interested in this one, have a think about how you intend to use the watch. Be aware of its inherent strengths and weaknesses. Sapphire crystal, titanium, super light, comfy leather strap, but non-loomed on the hands and the indices, and not a massive level of water resistance. Just make sure you're comfortable with what this watch does and what this watch doesn't do, but the spec to price ratio is fantastic. You can't complain about this one.
So there you have it then, the Casio Corvetto. Certainly worthy of a look, this one. $150 for a titanium watch with a Seiko automatic movement is a price tag not to be sniffed at. I think there are some slightly unusual design choices made here though. A rotating bezel which makes it a dive watch but no lume whatsoever, making it more of a dress watch. But hey, the project is well backed and it offers great value, as I said. If that sounds like your cup of tea, make sure you click on the link and check out their campaign. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.